I think that I've now, at 63 years old, suddenly owned that it's not a bad thing to speak your mind and be who you want to be.
There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early...
Or dawn even brushed the edges of Montecito. A storm detonated inside that estate like an explosion. By 6 a.m., Meghan's phone was blazing so violently it looked ready to burst into flames. Calls stacking, messages detonating, her publicist shouting over the chaos, attorneys waiting in silence on every line. And this time, it wasn't gossip. No grainy tabloid snap. No paparazzi lurking in the bushes. No, this was real, actual footage. A leak. The kind of leak that makes even battle-hardened PR veterans forget how to breathe.
She'd probably be funnier. No, I think I'll be funnier. And you know, her boys are really...
And guess who the script paints as the mastermind? Sarah Ferguson. Yes, Fergie, the flame-haired duchess who survived everything from royal glitter to tabloid bloodbaths. God help us all. The storyline has her dragging ghosts from the monarchy's deepest vault straight into Meghan's present. The footage may be grainy, but in the drama of this script, it's unmistakably her, young, radiant, owning the moment like the world was hers to command. A champagne glass raised high on a white yacht drifting along the Asian coast. Music pounding, sunlight dancing, billionaires scattered like props, and the Duchess of the Hour at the center of it all. Untamed, alive, the embodiment of a life she vowed was buried. And those cameras? In this fictional retelling, they captured every forbidden second she hoped would stay dead forever.
In Meghan Markle's former home, Frogmore Cottage.
Back at the sprawling estate in Frogmore, the air was thick with tension, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. And darling, this wasn't some petty ex-friend, or a gossip blogger stirring trouble from afar. No, this was an insider, someone who knew every unspoken rule of the royal world, someone who understood exactly how to shatter silence in one devastating move. Within minutes, the so-called Rowan footage was everywhere. TikTok, X, Instagram, millions of eyes devouring every frame before the sun had fully risen. News anchors gasped on live television. Analysts argued about authenticity, but the online world didn't wait for confirmation. There she was, the Duchess of Privacy, captured on her yacht, sun glinting on the waves, champagne in hand, music blasting. One post mocked, "So much for integrity." Another snapped, merciless in judgment. Her carefully sculpted image, feminist, philanthropist, paragon of dignity, was collapsing under the world's gaze. The fairy tale she had spent years building had been ripped apart by a single, relentless recording that refused to die.at Windsor. Whispers circulated. The Duke and Duchess of York had been asked to vacate their residence, shifting the chessboard of palace drama. Sources close to the family hinted that Duchess Rowan would be moving out, striking the first notes of a new, tense chapter. And here was the cruel twist. Rowan never even named her. She spoke only of the glittering, reckless circle she had once shared with Andrew, an era of wild indulgence and dangerous glamour. But the internet connected the dots within seconds. Suddenly, the Duchess's brand, her armor of authenticity, looked fragile, paper-thin. Inside Montecito, she reportedly crumbled, shaking, sobbing, whispering, "Not Rowan, she wouldn't." Yet maybe Rowan would. After all, she knew the taste of public humiliation. She had survived the same relentless tabloid storm once, the same 90-second scandal that left her reputation in ruins. Perhaps this was payback, perhaps a warning, and now, even the king had been dragged in, his name whispered across social media and newsrooms. Royal watchers speculated, theories spread like wildfire. Rowan had remained silent during all the Sussex drama, but sources said her patience had worn thin, tired of speeches about neglect, tired of veiled jabs at the family. She was rewriting the story on her own terms. A palace aide said it plainly, "Every duchess has a past." And what a reminder it was. By mid-morning, her PR team was in full-blown crisis mode. Social media frozen, legal threats drafted, but the genie was already out of the bottle. British morning shows gloated. Good Morning Britain threw shade like confetti. Private lives, public parties, they sneered. Then came Rowan's statement, short, lethal, precise, everyone has a past. But when one profits from moral superiority, honesty becomes fair game. But steadiness was impossible. Doors slammed, phones rang endlessly, tears fell. She felt betrayed, cornered, alone. Even her closest allies stayed silent. The woman who had once commanded the narrative couldn't control a single headline. Defenders tried, she was young, mistakes happen, but no one bought it. This was no longer youth, it was hypocrisy. Numbers told the story. 200,000 followers vanished overnight, brands reconsidering contracts, a wellness company quietly retreating, and Buckingham watched, some smiling. Poetic timing, muttered one aide. They had known of the footage for years, but had never acted. Royal families play the long game. And when she had attacked the firm's morality, she had broken the unspoken code. Rowan delivered the counterpunch. The woman who preached honesty now undone by it. Even the king reportedly told Harry over a cold, clipped call, "Handle it quietly. Dignity always wins." The irony? Dignity had been the first casualty that day. By twilight, the once pristine Montecito mansion had transformed into a battlefield. Phones vibrated relentlessly, staff whispered in hushed panic, and Alara paced the marble halls barefoot, her voice breaking as she dictated furious responses. Outside, the world kept spinning, hashtag slicing like blades, hashtag Yachtgate, hashtag Duchess Unleashed, hashtag Rowan Revenge. She scrolled silently, tears blurring the screen. No one came to her defense. Not media moguls, not Hollywood elites, not the fans who once hailed her bravery. That night, the stark realization hit. The institution she had fled could still dismantle her without a single word. Morning arrived, yet the chaos showed no sign of mercy. PR meetings morphed into war councils. Shut it down, her chief barked, pacing with trembling hands and a cold coffee clutched like armor. How do you shut down something that's already everywhere? 5 million views overnight. Alara retreated to the library, the only silent refuge, staring at her reflection in the darkened window. The woman staring back no longer radiated power, she radiated fear. Meanwhile, Rowan thrived. Talk show microphones, podcast chairs, glossy interviews, her every word cut like a scalpel. You can't rewrite history, she said softly to a stunned host. Then the footage is real, came the question. Rowan smiled that sly, knowing smile. The crowd gasped. Headlines screamed. Rowan exposes Duchess's past. Alara's PR team froze. Every defense they drafted sounded hollow. If we don't define her now, her manager whispered, they'll define her forever. Alara lifted her gaze, calm but resolute. Then we redefine it ourselves. And she meant every word. Within hours, her war machine roared to life. Carefully scripted statements, evocative photos, plans for a tell-all special, all meticulously scheduled to drop within 48 hours. The palace, meanwhile, remained a fortress of silence. Behind gilded doors, senior aides convened in Buckingham's halls, whispering strategy. Rowan did what we never could, one murmured. Now the world sees the cracks, let it breathe, another replied, while Alara's team screamed online. The palace deployed its own heavyweights. William and Kate appeared at a London gala, radiant, poised, unflappable. Their images splashed across front pages, juxtaposed against Alara's tear-streaked screenshots. The message was unmistakable. Rowan, never one to pause, re-emerged in the spotlight. Pearls gleaming, composed as ever, she addressed the cameras. We were once close, she said softly, but ambition changes people. The host raised a brow. So this was revenge? Rowan shook her head. For truth. People deserve to know the woman behind the speeches. Back in California, Alara watched, her tears finally honest, unshielded. Harry's text blinked on her phone from overseas. Don't respond yet. Let it blow over. But how do you remain silent when the world is dissecting every detail of your life? That night, she released her statement, polished, emotional, unflinching. She framed the footage as a private moment twisted into malice, a reflection of how women are punished for growth. Hashtags shifted, hashtag stand with the Duchess, hashtag media misogyny. Doubt lingered, allies hesitated, enemies celebrated. Inside the palace, a single memo circulated. Public sentiment was in flux, silence was the recommendation. For once, the institution didn't need to fight, the scandal devoured itself. By the third sunrise, Alara's tears had dried. She was plotting. We flip it, she told her team. We film my truth. No interviewer, no filter, just me, the camera, my story. That afternoon, lights rose, makeup softened, vulnerability became performance art. I've made mistakes, she whispered, eyes glistening. But every woman's past is weaponized when she refuses to stay silent. The internet devoured it. Within hours, her truth special dominated every feed. Hashtag her truth trended worldwide. Celebrities called it powerful. Fans hailed it as redemption. Critics admitted it was genius. Manipulative? Perhaps. Brilliant? Undeniably.